Hi, I'm Charlie and welcome to your relaxation class. Today's class is a short sequence about lifting your spirit. So these are going to be mood lifting postures to help you feel good in both the body and the mind. So we're going to get started on the floor and we're going to come into a wide leg child's pose to begin with. So child's pose is a very restorative posture, but it's quite nice as well because we get a good sense of opening in the back of the body and the hips. So I'm going to use the bolster and I'm just going to draw the body down onto the bolster. So you don't need to use a bolster, you can use cushions or you can come straight onto the floor if you want to deepen this stretch. So the bolster is quite a restorative and supportive way of doing child's pose. So my toes are together, my knees are wide, and I'm just going to hug the bolster in. So I'm going to hug my hands around, and I'm going to turn my head to the side. So I'm just going to bring my ear down and take a few breaths here. If you're not using the support of the bolster, you can just bring your forehead to the floor. You don't have to turn your head to the side. And just elongate the neck there. And whatever pose you're in, just make sure your shoulders are relaxing away from your ears. I'm just going to take a few breaths here. If your sit bones aren't connecting with the heels, you can use a cushion or some blocks to support you there. But we want to feel that connection, as it's a grounding connection. And you can extend the arms out. So if you're hugging the bolster, just reach the fingers forward and start to extend through the arms. Bring the head back to center and just reach your chin onto the bolster here. And start to breathe nice and deeply into the back of the body. Filling up the back of the lungs. And filling up the side of the lungs, so breathing into the sides of the body as well. Start to feel some active movement in the muscles in the arms. As you're extending through the fingers, feel the connection with the mat. And we're going to start to move this into a side twist. So if you have got the bolster, just move it to the one side. And then we're going to start to walk the hands over to the left. We're going to take a nice deep side stretch here. So you're going to feel this down the right side of the body. So our head's over the left knee. Our arms are reaching to the left side. And our forehead's trying to connect with that left knee. So start to breathe nice and deeply into the left side body. And then into the right side body. So you're going to feel a nice deep stretch down the right hand side, all the way from the fingertips to the hips. And then slowly walk the hands back through center, over to the right. Bringing that chest onto the right thigh. Drop the forehead to the right knee. Breathe into the right side body. And breathe into the left side body, extending the stretch through the left side. Breathing into the back of the body. Keep the hips, sit bones planted into the feet if you can. And come back through center. We'll take one last stretch through the center. Really extend the arms forward. Drop the forehead to the floor. Take 3 deep breaths into the back of the body. Gently lift the head, walk the hands back in, and push back up onto the knees. Draw the knees back a little bit. You might need your bolster for this next pose again. We're going to come into a heart-melting posture, so a nice posture for opening up the chest. So if you're using the bolster, bringing the hands onto the bolster and start to roll the bolster down forward so your head comes down towards the floor. So it's a really deep shoulder opener as well. You have the option to bring the elbows and support with the forearms on the bolster and use the bolster for your forehead. So this is another option. Or you can completely move any props out the way, keeping the hips directly over the knees and just use the arms to extend and open the shoulders. So I'm going to use the bolster today. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Opening up the back, opening up the shoulders. Try and keep your hips in line with the knees if you can. And let the chest melt down towards the mat. So it's a nice back bend, a nice opening, a release of tension and stagnation in the body. And you don't want to feel any pain here, so easing up on yourself if you're really finding discomfort in this posture. It should just be quite a nice release for the back and the shoulders. And we'll just take a few more deep breaths. Just trying to surrender a little bit more on an exhale. And gently releasing, slowly coming in and out, because this can be quite strong on the shoulders. Just make sure you're gentle on the release. And we're going to come on to hands and knees and just start to move the back and the hips a little bit. So hands directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. And we're going to start to open up the chest, inhaling, sticking that tailbone out. And on an exhale, tuck it all in, tuck the chin in, round the spine, round the back. And just moving with the breath, using the inhale and exhale through the nose. And then we're going to move through a figure of 8 pose. So coming back to center, we're going to start to move the hips round in figure of 8. So it's a kind of a circular motion with the hips. Or you might hear some clicks and cracks in the knees and the hips. And you can move as deeply as you need to, bending the elbows. And it's your figure of 8, no one can see it. So just move the hips whatever way feels good. So it can just be circles as you come back down towards the heels. You can bend the elbows to bring the body down. And start to move whatever way feels comfortable for you. And then we'll just move in the opposite direction, sitting back. And you can move with the breath here. it's a really nice release for the hips, the lower back, the shoulders. And then just come back to center, finding your flat back position. We're just going to take a little back bend here and a little bit of a balance to start to engage the core. Just tuck the tailbone down slightly. This is called one-handed tiger pose. So we're going to start to lift the left leg off the floor, bending the knee, and start to open up the chest. Right hand comes up, reaches forward. So this might already be quite challenging. If you can reach back, try and find a connection with the foot, and then push the foot into the hand, so you're opening up the chest. So it's a lateral opening here. Take a deep breath and exhale, release down. We'll do the other side. Engage the core, start to lift the right leg, kicking the heel up. There is some engagement of the glutes here as well. And then you can start to reach back, find the connection with the foot, and kick the foot into the hand, opening up. Use the core for support here. And exhale, releasing down. We're going to come back into that cat-cow stretch now. Inhaling, gazing up, exhale, rounding the spine, tuck the tailbone in. Inhaling, exhaling. Once more, inhaling and exhaling. And then just come to sit back onto the heels. Take a moment here. Just let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Then we're going to come to lie on our front. So extending the legs, draw the body down to the mat. And just find that nice long position for the body for a moment. Drop the forehead. And take a couple of breaths here. And then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We're just going to take a little baby cobra here. So lift in the chest as we inhale. And just holding here for a moment. Start to engage the glutes. Elongate the legs. And then release the head down. I'm going to come up again. Inhaling. This time slide the hands forward, coming onto the forearms. Coming into Sphinx pose. And you can walk the hands forward a little bit to ease up on the back if you have back issues. And just finding a comfortable position for a moment. Again, engage the glutes, point the tailbone down, and bring the feet together, extending the legs. And we're just going to take a few moments to breathe in our Sphinx pose. It's a nice opening pose for the chest, a strengthening pose for the lower back. And your belly button should still be engaged with the floor here, so you've come up too high if your belly button's off the floor. Keep the shoulders dropping down away from the ears. Just taking a moment to focus either on the third eye or just focusing on the breath. And then we're slowly going to release out, just walking the hands forward. Let the forehead drop towards the floor. And just shake out the lower back. Just give the hips a little shake from side to side. And then push back up onto the hands. We'll come into a little child's pose as a counter posture. So just sitting back on the heels, draw the arms down by the sides. Let the forehead drop. Taking a couple of deep breaths into the back. And then lifting the head, bring the body back up. Then we're going to come back to seated in the center of our mat. I'm going to grab a blanket to sit on, just to lift the hips. And we're just going to come into a nice little side stretch to finish off. We'll start off with the left side. So extending the left leg. Draw the right foot in, so the heel is drawing into the pelvis. Bring the left hand onto the left leg. You can use a bolster for support if you haven't got quite the flexibility. And then we're going to inhale, reach the right arm up, and exhale, just gently extending over, taking the gaze underneath the arm, just opening up the right side of the body. And we want to feel this sense of the chest lifting and opening up towards the ceiling. So it's not about reaching for the toe. This is an opening posture. So the chest is opening, the side of the body is opening. And then inhale, gently coming up. And we'll extend to the other side. So right leg extends, left leg draws in. Find the lift in the hips, bringing that forearm inside the right leg. Then we're going to inhale, reach the left arm up and extending over, coming into the side bend. Take the gaze up, open up the chest. And just breathe into the side body. Remember just to keep the shoulders soft away from the ears. Just trying to relax in this pose a little bit. And gently inhaling, drawing the body up. Bring the right leg in. And to finish off, we're just going to take an easy seated forward fold. Inhale, extend the arms, find the lift in the body. And exhale, just gently bring the hands in front and bow the head towards the floor. Keep the sit bones planted, grounding you into the floor. Inhaling, gently lifting the head, bringing the body up, bring the prayer to heart center. Taking a moment here. Namaste.